thanks for tuning into F1 Podcast. This is episode 91, and as you can see, Max is back from Queensland. Yeah, you're back, baby. How you feeling?
Yeah, I was in Queensland.
Yes.
Mate, I'm great. It's fantastic to be back, not only in front of you guys, but also back in Sydney, mate. There's no place like home. So, yeah, I'm pleased to be back.
And it was so lonely, Max, when I was recording those couple of episodes while you're away, you know, sitting there on my own with my...
But didn't he do a good job? He did a cracker of a job, I reckon.
Shit.
I watched them when I was in Brisbane. I'm like, yeah, this boy's not too bad. He might not need me anymore. Cheeky bastard.
All right, mate. Well, I talked about a few things while you're away, but the big thing, of course, was that massive end to the championship. As I said, one of the biggest endings ever, if not the biggest ending ever. So, mate, what do you think? That last couple of corners, that last bit there, Lewis is world champion.
Well, mate, this race is going down in history. Everyone go out and buy the 2008 season F1 DVD, please.
Because we will. Yeah.
Mate, that was just insane. The rain came down. Timo was ahead of him. He made that ballsy move on him on wets. It was just insane. And to see Felipe Massa and his family and the pit crew just rejoicing prematurely, as it turned out, must have been gut-wrenching, not only for them, but also for all Ferrari fans as well. But, Lewis did what he had to do. All good things come to all good men, and just out of jail, mate. He got out of jail, and good on him. He did enough to win this year, and it was obvious from last year, mate. Lewis Hamilton was a huge talent, and it was only a matter of time
before he got one. Yeah, I agree, mate.
But very interesting that Ferrari won by a point last year to McLaren, and now McLaren have turned the tables and won by a point over Ferrari this year. So maybe some justice there. I don't know.
Mate, what do you think of, since his victory, it's been pretty polarising, I've got to say. Lots of people are for Lewis, obviously the Brits, but people around the world, lots of people loving Lewis, but a whole lot of people not liking it. And, I said in the last video that our Lewis Hamilton video got heaps of hits, and there's just heaps of action around Lewis. So what do you think about, since he's won it, like the reaction, I guess?
Well, I think I'm not overly surprised. I guess 50% of people will like the guy and 50% of people won't. And they'll like him on different grounds, whether it be nationality, his brashness, because he's a brash young man.
Yeah.
In some of the things he says, no doubt about that. And that polarises people.
And he's brash on the circuit as well. Yeah. He's a ballsy driver, and I love that personally, but a lot of people, get turned off by that, I guess.
Well, it was also like Michael Schumacher
and Senna.
It's sort of like, gee, there's some things that they do that, are unsporting or whatever the case may be. Look, at the end of the day, this is a multi-million-dollar sport. You've got to do what you've got to do to win. But I'm not advocating cheating or anything like that, don't get me wrong. But the kid did what he had to do, and it shows the mettle of the guy when in the last lap, mate, of the ultimate race, he pulled something out of the box. And one thing I will say is I'm very disappointed in a lot of the reaction to Timo Glock, actually.
The hate campaign against Timo, yeah.
I just think that's totally unfair. He was on dry tyres. It was raining. Yeah. I mean, even a novice could understand that, what was going on. So I think he copped a lot of unfair criticism,
and so it continues as well. He's still getting shit from that race, and I can't believe it, actually.
So if any of you guys are giving him shit, please stop. That's our job.
All right, mate. Well, there's a couple other things that I talked about while you're away. First of all, Flavio confirming his drivers, VJ going crazy with all sorts of things, and also Honda, Nick Fry testing Bruno Senna. So, mate, take your pick. What's going on with those three? First of all, Renault.
Mate, let's start with Renault. Okay, I think it was a no-brainer that Alonso was going to stay at Renault, and I think that's a good move, not only for Renault but also for Alonso as well. A little bit surprised by Piquet's re-signing, I guess.
This is Nelson, who's just in the last day or so said that he's going to be in the top 6 next year.
Oh yeah, he'll be
like Heikki. He's talking himself up already.
The kid hasn't learned. I mean, prior to last season, the beginning of the season, I'll be taking the fight to Fernando. Oh, don't you worry about that.
No,
I'm not going to give him an inch. Basically, I look forward to finishing ahead of him at the end of the season and showing him what a real racing driver is like. Hello.
Yeah.
And then he comes out now.
Yeah.
Then he comes out now and says, talking it up again, which, you know, you might think from listening to me now, I think is a bad move. I think it's great. But it's hilarious to someone who's got no runs on the board, really, to talk it up. So that's all right. It'll be a feisty time at Renault next year with Piquet, and he'll no doubt get blown into the weeds again by Alonso. But new cars, new rules, so it'll be interesting to see, I suppose.
All right, the next one's VJ. Since I did that last video talking about VJ shaking things up, Max, the McLaren deal's been confirmed. So, you know, what do you think? VJ's obviously been pretty ballsy at this point, trying to get up the grid.
Well, he cut short his Ferrari engine deal by a year or so, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look, he's got an endless pit of money. I guess he's an independently wealthy billionaire.
Yeah.
We'll have McLaren, Mercedes, we'll have Mercedes engines, thanks.
And maybe De La Rosa chucked in as well, you know.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe Fissy's not safe after all. I mean, there's talk about maybe of Pedro getting the seat with the McLaren deal. You know, who knows?
Oh, mate, they'll try and buy their way up the grid, and fair enough to them. They're a privateer team, and you know, McLaren, Mercedes have enabled themselves or allowed themselves to pass out engines, I guess, or in this case, Mercedes.
Yeah.
That's fine. He's a customer. They're giving them to him, and he said, "Thank you very much. I'll cover those up." So look, do I really think it's going to do much for Force India next year? No,
probably not. Yeah.
2 parts of fuck all, quite frankly, with the drivers they've got. But you know, good on him. Okay, he's gone from Ferrari to McLaren. It's all downhill from here, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And mate, any parting words for Mike Gascoigne or Colin Knowles?
The interesting thing about Mike Gascoigne is that he's a brilliant engineer.
And so experienced, yeah.
Right? But it seems to me that he has consistently been fired from numerous teams over the years.
Is it the personality conflict I mentioned last video, Max?
I wonder. Because his technical skills, no one can question. The guy is a genius. But I wonder whether or not it's his personality that's stopping him from Buddha.
Do you think Buddha doesn't think that he's a genius?
Buddha, what do you think? Right, okay.
Not a genius.
Yeah, there's something. It seems too often to me that Mike Gascoigne gets the punt from manufacturers or from companies, I guess. It's just too often.
Yeah.
So
it has happened a few times. Yeah. I actually think probably, I mentioned it briefly in the last video, but I think probably VJ got what he wanted out of Mike Gascoigne.
Mike might have actually priced himself out of the market as well.
Possibly, yeah. But either way, VJ's making some changes, so we're going to do another video straight after this and talk a little bit about Barcelona testing Max and also the 09 spec cars. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you soon.
Alright guys, bye.
Okay, bye.